So by default, you get given 3 rack columns to fill with instrumentation, but you can extend it past those 3 columns by going over to the very right-hand side piece of wooden trim, right-click, and create your new instrument this way. Now this time, rather than going for any of the instruments individually that come with Reason, what I'm going to do is go Other and select this thing called a combinator. As well as all the really powerful instruments that come with Reason, you've also got this thing called a combinator where you can load any number of instruments and effect devices into this combinator and control them as if they were just one super device. So as with all the other devices, this has a Browse Patch button. So I'm going to press that, press Reason Factory Sound Bank, and you'll find a folder called Combinator Patches. So loads of different folders to choose from. I'm going to go for this folder called Rhythmic, and I'm going to select this preset called Dual Atari. Click on OK. Let's just press F6 and take a look at the rack. So this button here is very much like the Show Programmer button. It allows us to fold and unfold the contents of this combinator. So you can see there's loads of different devices been loaded into this, and we can fold and unfold those using the little arrows that are to the left-hand side of the device. So this is actually made up, the main devices that are generating the sound that we're going to be listening to are these subtractor synthesizers. But you can see there's matrix pattern generators attached to them. There's EQs, there's delays, there's reverbs, loads of different effects, and it's all brought together at this mixer. So obviously we don't have a chance to go into how to build a combinator during this short module, but if you're to take our 10-week Reason 6 online course, then we do go into not only how to build your own combinator, but also creating patches for Thor and Subtractor from scratch, and obviously a lot more on the MIDI editing side of things and building drum beats. So the only tweak that I'm going to make to this Dual Atari preset is I'm going to go down to the lower matrix. I'm just going to slow that down from a 32nd of a bar just to a 16th of a bar, so that pattern is a little bit slower than the patch originally. So let me bring up the on-screen keyboard. I could do that from the window menu, in fact. On-screen piano keys. After I've brought up the on-screen piano keys, I'm just going to go to the arrangement and hit spacebar. Now for this particular patch, you need to have the sequence running in order to be able to hear the sound output. So as with Thor, you've got some controls on the front that have been pre-made for you. So that's me just holding down one note at a time. You can hear you get a very rich sound out of this particular patch, and that's the benefit of using a combinator. So what I'm going to do is, you could at this stage program something and using your MIDI keyboard or your on-screen piano keys in real time and then tidy it up. But during this module, I'm just going to use the pencil tool. Make sure that the combinator track is selected, and with the pencil tool you can draw yourself a blank MIDI clip, something like that. I'm going to go back to the pointer and I can double click that clip to enter edit mode. I can now edit the contents of this clip. I'm going to go back to the pencil. The shortcut for these tools, by the way, is, let me get rid of the piano keys. Shortcut for these tools are Q, W, E, R, T, Y, and U. So I'm going to press W to go to the pencil tool. Let me just draw in a note there, like that. So click and drag. Going to exit edit mode, go back to the pointer. Now I'm just using the same note here, a C, as the matrix programmed in for my bass. If we just have a look, you can see the main note of this bass line is a C. I'm just making sure that I've programmed in a C for the combinator. Thereafter, I'm just going to have a bit of an experiment to see what other notes work well. Zoom out a little bit. So that one doesn't quite work. So I'm going to go back to the pointer. There we go. Drag it up or down. So that one works. So it's just a case of drawing notes in with the pencil and then moving back to the pointer and moving those vertically until you get something that fits in with your bass line. If you wanted to, in fact, because it's such a complex combinator pattern, just let me drag a box around those notes and delete them. Drag that out to fill the entire section. Just going to use Command Z to undo that. So let's now develop this arrangement a little bit.